Ryan Hagerich is now describing his involuntary stay of more than 3 months in Turks and Caicos as the hardest time of his life. The American from Pennsylvania returned home last night after spending more than 100 days in the British overseas territory, where he was charged with possession of ammunition. This is a moment he reunited with his children. It's a very beautiful moment there, Hagerich.
What's up, undirected team? I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a bit insensitive as far as just watching this and being like, it's so soft. Like, look at his wife in the background right there. Oh my God, he's back home. He's grabbing his children. He got a pink shirt on. They're holding signs for him. I'm sorry. Hey, let me get to the intro real quick. Let me get to the intro. Undirected team, we are here with another story. It's actually very serious, although this is just like super comical to me. They got it all staged and his kids are waiting there in anticipation and everybody's all like, it's just such a soft scene, but there are 4 Americans still detained. He was one of them. It was actually 5 to begin with. Now it's only 4 because he was released. And here he is reuniting with his family after being locked in Turks and Caicos, the island, for the past, what was it, about, I think he was in there for, well, they'll tell us actually. I think it was like 90 days he was in there. He was in there for damn near over 3 months because he decided to go out there and have ammunition in his backpack. And look at his wife right there. Honey, can you make sure I'm not carrying Can you make sure I'm not carrying ammunition in my backpack so I'm not taking away from my children? Let's watch the rest of the video. I'm sorry. It's just the way it was set up is just way too theatrical.
Was facing a 12-year sentence after pleading guilty to a charge of possession of ammunition. He was able to return home.
Is this how y'all act when y'all see your kids after 3 months?
Home after getting a suspended 52-week sentence and a $6,700 fine, according to his representatives. He expressed great relief and gratitude after landing last night in Pittsburgh.
Hold on. Great relief and gratitude? They just robbed you for $6,700. I guess you were at a point in your life where you really had like zero. I mean, he had no rights. Like, he was at the mercy of the British island. I think it's actually a sovereign island, Turks and Caicos, but it's part of the British islands.
Just so much joy. It's just amazing how just in a matter of 12 hours, my life it's been a complete 180. Looking at 12 years to now, my biggest concern is coaching my kids' baseball games tomorrow.
He's so soft. I can't take it. Look at this. Why is he wearing that shirt? I'm trying to take this serious because we're actually going to get into this. We're going to get into this whole Turks and Caicos, Americans getting caught with ammunition, and I'm pretty sure it's other countries too, but we're focused on Americans right now, of them getting caught with ammunition in their backpacks and them looking at 12 years minimum. And this is actually a carryover from, we did the Nicki Minaj story yesterday, and I actually did a deeper dive into this to try to figure out what's going on in Turks and Caicos. And just the whole entire sphere of us ending up in other countries in these legal troubles that these other countries are like, we'll keep you for life. We'll give you 12 years minimum. Like, we don't play these games here. Stop coming here as entitled Americans thinking you don't got to check your luggage. You can just import ammunition, drugs, marijuana, rolled blunts like Nicki Minaj had the other day. And we're just going to allow this to happen. Like, respect our damn rules, Americans. And that's what they're saying to us. And they don't give a damn who's in office. Biden, Trump, Obama, do something. They're basically saying do something. We know y'all are a juggernaut, but y'all ain't bringing that drama here.
And that is such a relief.
And just to be clear, in Turks and Caicos, possession of firearms or ammunition carries a minimum 12-year sentence, though according to the local governor, the law allows reduced sentences under exceptional circumstances. Hagerich is not the only American arrested under similar circumstances. Four others have been released on bail while they await their court dates in Turks and Caicos, but one of them was allowed to return to the U.S. for medical reasons.
So, where we at? Let me get back to my regular screen for a little bit. So basically, there are 4 Americans, and I think they just said one was released. So it's 3 right now that are still in Turks and Caicos. But he said that they're on bail, so they have to stay in the country, but then also they can't leave the country to come back. But one person was able to leave on a medical emergency. So, you know, you go out there, tell them you got asthma, you need dialysis, figure out a way to get out of there. And whoever came back for their medical emergency, I doubt they're going to be going back to Turks and Caicos to face punishment. I'll do a Zoom court date from my home in America in West Virginia. Yeah. You said what? I'm guilty? What's my sentence? Minimum 12 years? But you're going to give me 15? You're telling me to leave West Virginia right now and you want me to come to Turks and Caicos to do a 12-year sentence voluntarily? You want me to pay for my ticket to come and spend 12 years in prison because I forgot to empty my luggage of a single 9mm bullet? Yeah. Proceeds to pull out the Ethernet cable from his internet connection. Sorry, I'm breaking up. You know, back in the day when you had the phone. Sorry, I can't hear you. Click. Yo, this is crazy, y'all. This is insane. It's almost a joke, but it's also not a joke. So, you know, we got to figure this out. But I want to go into this other woman right now that is arrested in Turks and Caicos, and she was not lucky enough to come and have a whole stage set up of her riding down the escalator, crying in a pink shirt, to be comforted by her children and her wife in the background. Just, I don't even know what she was there for. Let's check this one out. This is crazy, y'all. Just pure insanity. Where did my thing go? 1 second, team. 1 second. I need to. There we go. I got it now. Sorry for the pause and the delay. Let's get to it. Let's check this story out.
An Orlando woman is stuck in Turks and Caicos tonight after what authorities at the airport say they found in her luggage. And no, it wasn't drugs. It wasn't a weapon either. It was loose bullets, 2 of them.
Yeah, her arrest marks the 5th of its kind in recent months. Most of the Americans facing charges have said bringing the ammo to the island chain in the Caribbean was an accident. New at 11, News 6's Troy Campbell's looking into the charges and their chances.
What do y'all think about this? So I know that, you know, as far as the law goes, ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law. That's a saying. Ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law. If you park in an unauthorized parking space and you get your vehicle towed, then like you just have to deal with the consequences. They're not going to be as bad as these consequences. You're not getting a minimum 12-year sentence because you parked in a legal parking space or you parked in handicap, but you didn't know or whatever. It was an accident. I don't know how. I've flown a lot. I've been through many of airport, and I've never brought an illegal substance or bullets or anything onto an airplane. Usually, and this is before all of this stuff happened, I always empty out my bag completely before I go to refill it with the things that I'm taking on my trip. I don't know.
A fighting.
45-year-old Sharita Greer of Orlando, arrested in the Turks and Caicos on Monday.
45 years old. So let's assume that she gets the minimum penalty, 12 years. This woman's getting out when she's over 57 years old. Crazy.
After airport security discovered 2 bullets inside of her luggage. Police say the ammunition was found during a routine search. Greer is the 5th American arrested in the Turks and Caicos since the U.S. State Department issued a travel warning last year, warning Americans from carrying ammunition into the country.
Just everything.
So we were warned as Americans, and they're warning Americans. They're literally just warning us as Americans. They're saying, y'all, you entitled brats that believe you're better than everybody else in the world. We're telling you, stop bringing ammunition into our damn country. I don't care if it's 1 bullet, 2. I don't care if it's a blank. Don't bring anything resembling a bullet into our country.
Everything out of your carry-on bag and then refill it with what you want there. Therefore, you're not surprised that something's in there that shouldn't be.
What I just said. Team, I have not watched this video. Everything that I'm watching and reacting to, this is all in real time. I don't watch the videos beforehand. Empty your bag out and then refill it with what you want to bring. So that way, if you end up bringing a bullet, you did it on purpose. You're just carrying your bag that you just been having sitting in your closet for 2 years and you just don't even empty it out, but you just fill it with more junk. I don't get it.
TSA Administrator David Pekoski says improved technology here in the U.S. will be the best defense to stop Americans from boarding with ammunition.
We love our guns in America.
Put more technology assists available to them, and we're well on our way to being able to do that. You know, those new X-rays that passengers see that are computed tomography or CT X-ray systems are much better at detecting what's in a passenger's carry-on bag.
Officials in the Turks and Caicos haven't said which airport Greer departed from, but the charge does carry a mandatory minimum of 12 years in jail.
Jeez.
The State Department releasing a
That's
statement
the
saying
issue.
in part, if a traveler brings a firearm or ammunition into TCI, the U.S. Department of State will not be able to secure their release from custody.
So America's saying, like, guys, we cannot help you with this, man. You can't go to other countries and just think that we're going to be able to get you out of these situations. Like, they have different rules. Don't go to other people's houses and treat it like your own house. Respect their house and their rules, or don't go there at all. It's pretty simple.
News 6's Troy Campbell is live in the newsroom. So, Troy, where is Greer now? And really, in this case, what happens
That's
next?
what we want to know. Where's Greer?
Well, Matt, the Turks and Caicos government issued a statement, but it wasn't entirely clear if she's behind bars or if she's out on bail. We did some research. We found out Greer, she has a number of relatives living here in Central Florida. We tried to contact them after a number of phone calls, even stopping at some of their homes. We haven't been able to get a hold of any of them. Greer does have a court hearing scheduled for July 5th, Matt.
We'll have to wait.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. There is a benefit to all this, though. So, just a little bit about Turks and Caicos. It is an island in the British district of the world. And in the summer months, the water temperatures are between 82 to 86 degrees on average. And also in the winter months, it never gets below temperatures of about 74 degrees Fahrenheit. So excellent water temperatures, and also the weather itself never gets above 91 degrees on average, and never, even at nighttime, dips below 64 degrees. This is Fahrenheit. So you're going out to basically perfect and ideal weather conditions. So I would just say this, that being on bail and stuck in Turks and Caicos is probably not the worst situation that you could be in. Although, if you spent the last bit of your, your tax return to go to Turks and Caicos, and you can't afford to live out there while you're on bail, well, you're in trouble. The last thing on this is, so they probably not gonna let you leave the country. You're on bail within the country. So she was able to afford bail, which is good. I don't know if she was just released on her own recognizance or if she had to post bail as far as a cash settlement. Now, the first guy that we seen, he paid a fine of $6,700 and was able to leave. It was the same thing that happened with Nicki Minaj that we spoke about yesterday, where they fined her undisclosed amount, basically just extortion. So they're kind of more or less extorting Americans. It's like either you can do 12 years or you just throw us like $7,000 and we're good. I mean, most people are going to be like $7,000 is a deal rather than doing 12 years in Turks and Caicos, because you're not going to be on a tourist resort. You're going to be locked in a cage. Although I wonder what the view would be like. If you're locked in a jail cell, do you like get to look out and see the beaches and the ocean outside your window? I mean, that could be a perk. You ain't getting that in America. Wow. Okay. All right. This is crazy. So she's still out there. They tried to reach out to her family to no avail, and we don't know what the hell's going on with her. So we're going to have to try to figure that out. But we got a couple more videos to look through, and we will do that in a second. My other thing is this. You know, like, we make these decisions and we want to go to these other countries, but, you know, can't we just have fun in America? Like, America is a very unique country in the world because we have everything. Like, you could be in Minnesota where I'm at, and like right now, the weather is perfect. We're right in the end of May going into June, and the weather's ideal. It's like Turks and Caicos weather out here right now. And you can go down to a place like Florida where it never gets cold. You can go to California where it never gets cold. You can go to Seattle where it's rainy and it is, where's my view at? Open scenes with it. Where you can go and it's rainy and it never really gets cold. Like when I grew up in Seattle, Washington, and we used to want snow. Now that I've been living in Minnesota for quite a long time, I don't like the snow at all. You can go to like Louisiana where it's always hot. I mean, you have every single option of weather in the United States. So in the way the world is right now, the turmoil in the world, like as a whole, I mean, going out of the country is extremely dangerous. And I don't want to discourage people from going out of the country, but just be careful when you're leaving America if you're a citizen here, because the world is very unforgiving to us. And, you know, it's something that we have to take into account. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we got this one too. So this is the other guy, and you've seen him in the thumbnail. And we're going to go into his situation, and let's see what we got going on with him.
Tonight, a third American tourist arrested in Turks and Caicos, facing the possibility of 12 years in prison for allegedly bringing ammunition onto the islands.
It ruins our lives. It ruins my son's life. Like, Because he'll grow up without a dad.
Virginia paramedic Tyler Scott Wenrich, a father of a 1-year-old, was wrapping up a relaxing trip with his friends when his wife says officials at a security checkpoint in Grand Turk found 2 bullets in his suitcase.
It was an accident. Like, he does have a...
Yo, I just want to say, I'm not laughing at the situation just because, like, they keep bringing up the kids, but nobody was thinking about the kids when they were making these stupid decisions. I have 3 kids. And I see my kids all the time. I'm very active in their life. I speak to them all the time. I take my kid to and from school every single day. So it's not like I'm not empathetic to the fact that they have kids. But stop using your kids as a reason of why you should be getting in and out these situations. I don't give a damn that you had sex with this woman and produced a child, and now you want to sit here. The kid has nothing to do with your situation. You brought a bullet into the Turks and Caicos. You left America with it. They speak about like how they're trying to be better as far as these situations of letting people get through customs, letting them get through America airports. But damn, what's up with our systems? Like, I feel like as difficult as it is to go through airports nowadays, where they have you go through the x-ray machine, you gotta hold your hands up like this, and they're scanning everything. Like, I ain't even go. Anyways, they're scanning everything. I had this chain on, I think, last time I went. It was tucked in here. And they were like, what is that under your shirt? And they were like patting me down, and he was like touching me, and he's like, oh, you got a nice chest. Is that a chain right there? Can you just show it to me? And I just slowly pulled. It'd be so intimate when you go through the TSA check. But for some reason, you can get through with a bullet.
A concealed carry license. And the particular bag he took on the trip had all of his like emergency equipment. He's a paramedic.
Wenrich has been placed in prison until his next hearing in June. His arrest, the 3rd of an American in just the last 3 months.
So they ain't let this guy get out. He's in prison till June. Prison.
Fathers Brian Hagrich of Pennsylvania and Ryan Watson of Oklahoma both say they accidentally brought hunting ammunition on their respective trips.
I never recall putting that ammunition in that bag, but...
I can't take the lack of accountability from these people, man. Look at his face. I don't recall putting the ammunition in that bag. Bro, what are you even talking about? You did it. Okay, so if you didn't do it, who did? Is your wife setting you up? She trying to get you locked up for 12 years so she can get away from you? Because I'm pretty sure looking at you, she got a side dude, man. She got somebody on the side. Your wife set you up. Hey, honey. And where was she at? You went to Turks and Caicos by yourself. You left your son, your newborn son, and your wife in America so you could go out to Turks and Caicos by yourself, and somehow you just got ammunition in your bag that you don't know where it came from. You might want to look at your wife, buddy.
And somehow they ended up in there.
According to Turks and Caicos officials, there have been 8 firearms and ammunition prosecutions of American tourists since the government tightened its laws in 2022 and implemented a mandatory minimum 12-year sentence. Many, including Wenrich's wife, wondering how that...
Hold on. I got to go back. Did it say fine without limit? Hold on. Let me go back a little bit. Damn, look, hold on. Look right under the highlighted portion. A mandatory term of imprisonment of not less than 12 years, but not exceeding 15 years. And a fine without limit. So look, the first dude that got out, they looked at his bank account and said, he can afford $6,700 for sure. It's gonna hurt him, but he can afford $6,700. See, he's smart though. He looked like he actually got a little money in the bank. So he probably got his, money in, different shell companies and, stocks and different things like that. So his actual net worth is probably not represented just based off his account. But they're extorting him. They're like, hey, we're gonna need access to your Wells Fargo. We're gonna need access to your US bank. We're going to need access to your hidden Chime account that you're trying to keep from your wife so you can take trips to Turks and Caicos and Taiwan and Belize. We're going to need all that. So they look at his bank account and they're like, all right, he's got 12 in Wells Fargo. He's got 2,000 in US Bank. We'll leave his Chime account alone. He needs that. He needs that separation from his wife and his family. That's why he was crying when he seen him when he got back. But the fine without limit is crazy because that just goes to show that it's mostly about extortion. Because these people, like, when you go on vacation, you don't respect the country in the way that you should. And I think that's a lot of the problem. And they know it. They're like, these Americans are coming out here and they're just trashing our country. We've even done it in America. If you remember this year in Florida for spring break that just happened a few months ago, even Florida was like, we don't want people coming from the rest of the country into Florida and destroying our city or state in Florida coming here for spring break. So now we're having curfews and all these different things were implemented in Florida during spring break, and they had way less crime and issues happening out there because even the people in America don't respect the other states that we live in. So if we don't respect our own country, then we're definitely not going to respect other countries. So they're like, look, we're looking for any reason for you to make a mistake, and we're going to fine you without limit. So if you come out here and you're a rich dude and we can prove that, well, you're not getting out of here for $6,700, buddy. We're going to need $67,000. One more thing I want to say about Turks and Caicos is the main source of their revenue for their country is tourists. That's where they get most of their money for their country or their island. It's from tourism. So they're going to squeeze every single dollar they can out of you.
Sentence. Many, including Wenrich's wife, wondering how that ammo made it past TSA in the United States in the first place.
It's just so frustrating because none of this would have happened if our TSA essentially had done everything possible and scanned all of the bags appropriately.
You blaming TSA for your mistake. This woman really just blamed TSA because she went to Turks and Caicos with ammunition. We should have never got out of America with. But if you would have got caught going through our TSA and then you ended up missing your flight because they stopped you and made you go through a whole process, you be blaming America. Well, you making this a big deal just because I brought ammunition, but they just saved your husband from possibly doing 12 years in a federal penitentiary in the Turks and Caicos that you probably set him up for, allegedly. Look, the way she's acting, I'm not trusting her. I don't trust him. They're taking no accountability. This is all just weird.
In Ryan Watson's case, who was arrested just over 2 weeks ago, TSA confirming its agents in Oklahoma City did not detect the bullets and, quote,
oh, that's the first guy we've seen,
which they're addressing internally. Still, there's a sliver of hope for the men currently staring down more than a decade behind bars.
It's very heartbreaking because I know the pain that they're going through.
Teresa Pafao's son, Michael Grimm, was also arrested in Turks and Caicos last year, but served just 8 months in prison due to exceptional circumstances.
We both...
Wait. What was his exceptional circumstances? Maybe they'll say.
Sought professional services to help us deal with this trauma and this PTSD.
The government of TCL...
You got PTSD from doing 8 months in prison. What'd they do to you in there? You definitely lost a lot of hair when you was up in there. These are self-inflicted wounds. No pun intended because of they're bringing bullets into the country. These are self-inflicted wounds, man.
FBI says that in 4 other cases with exceptional circumstances, the offenders were only fined. That criteria can be when the courts find no criminal intent or when the suspect has demonstrated, quote, good character and standing at home, a threshold Wenrich's boss says he meets.
Tyler is the servant leader professionally as a paramedic and as an executive. He's world class.
Nonetheless, the Virginia man's wife is worried that will not be enough.
What if they don't decide that he's exceptional?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about break.
This story is crazy, y'all. I'm sorry. I can't do it anymore. I got to get out of here, man. I think we got one more. Let me see. Do I got one more? I think we got one more on this. So they look into your criminal history in America as if it matters. They're looking into your bank account. They're like, is it going to be more profitable for us to just get 20, 30,000 out of you right now because you can afford it? Or are we going to just have you stay in Turks and Caicos for 12 years and get hard labor out of you and make that same amount of money over time, which you make in license plates for Turks and Caicos? I don't know. I have zero idea at this point, y'all, but I'll just tell you that we got to be more careful. I think I got one more video. We'll check it out. We'll see what this video is about, and then we'll wrap it up.
On the islands of Turks and Caicos, the number of Americans detained for possession of ammunition continues to climb.
I'm not going to be able to talk to you in prison. I love you. Goodbye.
Jerry Ann Wenrich's husband, Tyler, has been behind bars for more than a week after authorities uncovered 2 rounds of ammunition in the paramedic's luggage as he tried to leave the island.
It was an accident. Like, our airport didn't catch it, and the cruise ship didn't catch it.
Tonight, Turks and Caicos confirming they're prosecuting 4 men for violating a recent law meant to crack down on gun violence that carries a 12-year mandatory minimum sentence. That includes Michael Lee Evans, a 72-year-old retired Texas teacher.
Michael Lee Evans cannot afford to do 12 years in Turks. He cannot. Get him out of TCI immediately.
And Ryan Watson, a father of 2 who was traveling with his wife.
I never recall putting that ammunition in that bag, but somehow they ended up.
All right, we heard this guy. We're done with this. You know, I'm kind of just at a point where, you know, sometimes you just got to be happy with what you have. Like, we live in a very rich country. We have a lot of different perks within America. You know, when we're going to these other countries, we need to just respect them if we want to travel there and be on our best behavior and follow their cultural norms for the most part. And I think we could avoid a lot of this. You know, as I look at these people taking zero accountability and blaming everybody but themselves, when you're the actual person that committed these crimes in the other country, it's just disturbing. And I don't think any of these people learn their lesson. And that's probably the worst part about it all. Turks and Caicos also is not that expensive to go to. Although, if you get caught out there, then your bill goes up a lot. But I was actually looking at flights because I was interested. And let's actually look at their flights lastly before we get out of here. So I was looking at it, and if you look right here, a round trip is $616 to get there. It's $616. This has one stop. This is a total of, how long was this? 7 hours, 14 minutes. So I'd have to go from MSP, then I go to Orlando, and then from Orlando I go to PLS, which is their airport out there. And it's actually not that far. When you get to Orlando, it's not that far to get there, which is relatively cheap for one person. And then I think if I looked it up correctly, For 2 people, it's around 2,000 if you just want to go basic, still have a good time out there, but you're not like in luxury hotels and doing all the things. You can go out there for about $2,000 and enjoy their really, 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 really nice climate and tourist attractions. So, I think that's kind of cool as far as the price. But if you end up getting extorted out there, it's going to cost you a lot more than $2,000. You might be out $10,000 by the time you get back home. And that'll be a lot longer than you anticipated because you'll spend a significant amount of time in prison. And why is everybody else not accounted for? Why is everybody else accounted for except for the black woman? Don't nobody know where the hell she's at. But the white guys, they're accounted for, although they are in prison and stuff. And one guy didn't get bail, so he's just sitting in there. And we'll see what happens with him in June. I might do a follow-up to this later on. Let's go into undirected perspective. What do I got for this? I think that a lot of these wounds are self-inflicted. I don't think that you should get 12 years for bringing a bullet into Turks and Caicos, or because they were actually leaving out. Yeah, they came there with it successfully. When you go to basically coming in or coming out is the issue. So if I got an illegal substance and I get through, and let's say I'm going to California, and I get through MSP Airport and I get to LAX, I'm good. They're not going to check you when you land. They're going to check you when you're departing, when you're going through security. So a lot of that just says that if they were able to get into the country with bullets, but you didn't find it until they're actually trying to leave the country, then I don't really know what the issue is there. Obviously, their intentions were not anything that was to harm the people of Turks and Caicos. They said some of these were random checks. I'm assuming every American mostly is gonna have a random check, especially if they go there and they're wearing a Cabela's hat. If you go to Turks and Caicos and you got a Cabela's army fatigue hat on with the brim like this, they got the brim like this. Where'd my hat go? I don't got my hat. It's over there. I ain't gonna get it. But if your brim is like this, and it's army fatigue green and it has Cabela's in cursive across the top, they're checking your bag because there's a good chance that you got some type of ammunition, gunpowder, magazine, maybe even a firearm in there. So what do y'all think about this story? And do you think it's ever going to stop? Do you think we're ever going to stop being so lazy that we can't check our bags and make sure that we're not carrying ammunition through the airports in other countries? Or do you think this is going to be an ongoing case? Do you think these people deserve 12 years for their foolishness and their ignorance? I don't know. I'm asking the question. So, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this. And let's hold each other accountable. Team, I'm always going to tell you that we're only as good as our teammates when we're on a team. So I really need us to hold each other accountable. Wives, stop putting ammunition in your husband's bag when he's getting ready to leave the country to go to Turks and Caicos on a solo trip, leaving you and your newborn to fend for yourselves while he's out having a good time. Actually, you did it on purpose, though. Yo, I don't know. At this point, I'm just totally confused about this whole situation. I want to hear what y'all have to say. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think about all this. And I don't know. I'm going to do a follow-up to all this. I do want to see if what the outcome of these 4 people, and I definitely want to know what happened with that woman because she just kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. Like nobody's giving any updates. Turks ain't saying nothing. Her family ain't saying nothing. She's apparently out on bail, so I'm assuming that she can like call back to the United States or these news. The news is looking for her out there trying to figure out what's going on with her and get a statement, and she just disappeared. So We don't know what. That's the most mysterious thing about all this is what happened with her. So I definitely want to see what happened with her because that's the one I'm most curious about at this point. And yeah, actually, what was her name again? I just want to, well, whatever. I already took it off. I'm gonna leave it at that though. Until the next one, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, team. Dot Cell out. Peace.